how do you want this music to affect people?
I want it to, first of all, I want it to resonate with their heartbeat, number one, because there's a lot of deep pulses, deep frequencies there. The 528 kilohertz frequency in which the album is encoded, or in this case the Navigators was encoded, is literally the same frequency that we were born with when we first come out of the womb. It's this resonant, very, very slow, resonant heartbeat frequency. And then as we grow and we go to school and we are conditioned and whatever, we are bombarded with what is called the dark Kali frequency, the frequency of war, to turn around and acknowledge the fact that things are fucked. Right? They just don't get any more fucked than they are right now. And if I can create that moment of pause, and if Stephen Harris can create that moment of pause, if Ali Hughes can create that moment of pause, if Lachlan Harrick can create that moment of pause, if Svetlana can create that moment of pause, and anyone else that's associated with us in any way, shape or form, then what greater legacy could you ever ask for?
Sure.
That's something to be super proud of in my book.
How the album finish? If the journey starts with leaving the earth, how is it finished? Which song is?
You know the great thing about that, Sarah.
No.
No. I'm telling you, this is something that
I
I would say to you.
No, I'm
but you know what the great thing is, because you're my interview. You know, you're my interviewer. The great thing about that question is that right now, it's still unknown. We don't even know, which makes the project super exciting. We don't even know yet what the 24 songs are going to be. What we do know, and it'll be interesting to see what Stephen said about this, but Stephen and I don't necessarily see eye to eye with regard to the philosophical and the ideological meanings and premise behind the things we're trying to do. In fact, they're quite the opposite. But there is a genuine love for doing something that's unique. And our music is truly unique. You know, the way we approach form, the way we approach time signatures and tempo mapping, the way we approach the delivery of lyrics, hooks, refrains, melodic, melodies, BVs. It's very, very different to the way that other people or other groups do so. So the conclusion that we have agreed to, which, whatever, is the fact that side one will probably be more Mike, and side two will probably be more Stephen. So you're going to hear a lot more commercial hooks, a level of distinctive structure in side two, whereas on side one you're going to hear a lot more freeform. Right? I don't believe that you have to start with an intro and then make a verse and then close the verse and create a pre-chorus and then close the pre-chorus and then open a chorus and then close the chorus and then give a half verse, a statement. I don't believe in all that. I've done all that when I did pop music and whatever. I believe that a story needs whatever time it needs to tell itself so that it comes from a purity and truth. That's what drives me.
So basically you don't want to do something commercial?
No, I don't. And that means that will I limit the potential success of this project? Of course. Do I care? No. Because the project will resonate with those that it should resonate with. I'm not worried about what the narcissistic little shits of the world think of us trying to do what we're trying to do. Because for me, and no disrespect, and I'm not saying it without ego or anger, you're lost. I can't help you find your way back. You'll have to find your way back to a level of balance and then begin your journey all over again. But I do know that the health and wellness market is one of the biggest and most untapped in the world today. I do know that apart from the spiritual tourists that seem to be every bloody which way, there is still a very purist sense to the spiritual world. And, you know, when you ask me questions later on about, you know, my hopes and my dreams of what I hope to achieve with what we're doing, then I can tell you a little bit more about, you know, some fairly sort of highbrow ideas. So this audience will be one that will find itself because of the image, because of the sonic nature of the music, because of the stories, because of the purity, and because of the truth. Sacred music, purity of truth. But without sacred music being literal in its meaning. And this is what I've been telling artists that I've been meeting lately. Don't try to emulate something that's already out there. Please, be original. And draw from experience or draw from observation. But this he said, she said shit. Boy loses girl, boy wins girl, boy turns into a lesbian, whatever, you know, that kind of... It doesn't mean anything. There is nothing that creates any substance behind it. But if you speak from heart and soul and draw from purely within the very, very essence of your being, I promise you, with all my experience and all my knowledge and my track record in this industry, people will get it. But it has to be genuine. You can't be a spiritual tourist and say, right, I'm going to write some songs because if I write songs that have these things in it, then the people that are into health and wellness and spiritual well-being and blah, 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 they're going to immediately identify with it. Well, they're not. Because you see, they come from a higher power. They've got a higher consciousness, so they can see through your shit without any problem whatsoever.